Matt El Diablo Doherty.
Yeah.
That's what I'll call him by the end of this, Will.
Yeah. What a way to... I've never seen a player land on their feet so much.
I wouldn't say it's landing on his feet.
You don't think? You don't think a move to Madrid?
He's gone from being managed by Mourinho, then Conte, and then Diego Simeone.
That's tough going.
He's also had to be under Roy Keane as well. I mean, think how many looks he's gotten over the years. Like,
it's amazing that he's not the best player of all time.
he's the hardest. Yeah. He's the most mentally strong for sure. I mean, if this doesn't break him, I mean,
he's indestructible. Yeah. How is he not captain for Ireland? Just off that alone.
He was just as the last one finished. I guess I wasn't even aware of deadline day being just around the corner of the last episode we did, because it's been so underwhelming for so long. And
January especially, because it's like, if you're going to do business, you get it done the first week. It's like, we meant to do it in the summer, we didn't get around to it.
There's no value in the transfer window, Will. Not in January.
It doesn't matter. Value doesn't exist anymore.
It's a sign of desperation.
When did it actually change? Because money, all of us, like, I know the Neymar deal was like, people point to as the first really good one, but it's insane now. Like, it's genuinely insane. I don't know what the cost of a good player is. I think it's around 100 million.
It's really come down to, you're worth that someone will pay for you.
Yeah, exactly.
The money doesn't actually. I mean, I know I went on kind of a weird rant. Don't weird behaviour. I was telling people to shut their mouths. I don't know who I was talking to. I have no idea what that was about. But I was looking at the figures, and it fried my brain, and I started shouting at into the void.
Yeah, into the crowd.
Into the crowd about people need to stop talking about transfer window. Everything's fine. My life is fine. Everything's fine.
But it's madness.
It is. It was totally madness.
Because now, it used to be a case where you're like, 200 million for the best player on earth. That's insane.
Yeah.
Now it's like 100 million for someone I've never heard of. And I do a football podcast.
I'm an expert.
Yeah.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before. They're imposters.
He always are.
Nothing to ask me, for my opinion, a little bit unfair.
But in between that, there was drinks.
Why are you talking rubbish?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cathal and Will. We are here. The glorious St. Bridget's Bank Holiday Monday.
Unbelievable.
God bless you. I think she did stuff with the lepers.
Something like that.
I think the lepers I remember from school.
Yeah, I think she was like a big nature thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
The ins and outs. But because of her
and
glorious...
the crosses, of course.
And the crosses.
I'm not sure what the crosses were for, though.
I'm going to assume warding off spirits.
Maybe we couldn't afford wood back then. It's like, what about these? Like, it's like wood, but it's actually grass.
Yeah, it's shit. Big piles of annoying sticks, kind of. But thanks to her glorious contribution, we now get a day off on a Monday every February for the rest of our lives.
That's also thanks to the EU.
Yeah.
Where they're like, you are working too hard over there, lads.
Yeah.
I said, tell me about it.
Take a break, boys.
So
do you think this is in spite of the UK? We're close enough to give them another bank holiday. Show them what they're missing.
Maybe. Hopefully that's what it is, and hopefully there's more of that to come.
Keep it coming. Oh, it's bank holiday August.
This is the way to be, though, man. 4-day week. I just got up late enough.
Yeah.
Went to the gym. Did very little in the gym.
Yeah.
But I was there.
I went to the gym yesterday. I was the only person in it because everyone assumed it was closed for the bank holiday.
Oh yeah.
It was amazing. I felt like The Rock.
The Iron Paradise.
Yeah. I felt like I was on my jet gym.
Yeah, it's great, man. Just walk around in the daylight.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's starting to get now, like about 5:30 when I finish.
Yeah.
It's just, the sun is just going on. I run out the door.
Yeah, there it is.
And I see the sun going down. But yeah, just getting up today and just like, there's the sky.
Yeah.
I remember you.
Yeah. There's no mad dash to go to bed as soon as we end this recording.
No.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, this is the next job I get, I'm going to angle for a 4-day week.
Yes.
Unless the EU's brought in by then.
Yeah, I think some countries are doing that. That'd be amazing.
Again, just despite the Brits. It's like, look at this. 4-day weeks.
Didn't the president say last week he wants to abolish homework? What a time we live in.
Yeah, no, and I'm not one of those people like, I'm glad. I'm glad for the younger generation.
Yeah, me
good
too.
on them, man. This is what we fought for. I think
We were very bad for doing it in the first place.
we didn't even know we were fighting for, it, but we were. Will we were fighting the good fight the whole time, planning homework and 4-day weeks.
Yeah.
Did someone say there's a recession looming?
I want to work less.
But speaking of taking it easy,
Mm.
we're doing a podcast
Yeah.
about football.
Yeah.
On our day off.
Yes.
So we're taking it easy, but we're bringing you here.
Yeah. It used to be you'd
content.
have a 4-day work week and you rest the other 3. Now it's a 4-day work week, so you have more time for your side hustles.
It used to be that you'd fucking go out on a Sunday
Yeah.
and
Sunday and the Monday.
and the Monday be wasted.
Yeah.
But now here we are, and we're talking Premier League.
Yeah.
And
And what a week.
what a week! And even the last few hours before we did this,
Chaos.
chaos has ensued. Man City have been Juve'd.
Yeah.
They're out for them, out to get them.
An amazing quote I saw. Did you see City's response to it?
No.
It was essentially City were shocked and like they can't believe that the Premier League is taking this action after City were so like open and showed them everything over the last 4 years. It's like, that's the problem. You're like, look at all this, and then they punish you for it.
If you have nothing to hide,
Yeah.
show everything. It's like, you should have hid this because there's
Yeah.
bad stuff here.
Did you see all these rule breaks in that tweet?
What's mad is that it goes back to 10-11 season.
The first year, basically.
What took them so long to wait till they have 11 seasons done.
Wait till
then
they're
we can get
dominant.
them.
Yeah.
Wait till Steven Gerrard's been robbed of as the only
Yeah.
Premier League medal he might ever get.
Yeah.
Would it be worse now for him to like, hey, Steven, just like knock on his door.
There's no
it's
way he
like,
counts it. He would throw that in the bin.
the
I'd say.
worst thing ever.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I know that I actually did lose though. Yeah, but it wasn't fair. It's like, life's not fair, man.
I tell you who would happily accept it. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He would be buzzing. He was like, I wouldn't what?
I knew it. I'm so positive. I
I
must
knew
have
I was
won
happy
something.
for something.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't gone through the list, but I mean, I guess Man United owed a couple. Chelsea owed a couple.
It's,
Liverpool obviously owed
Liverpool
those two.
owed 3, I think.
3. They finished the second
Because
round.
the Brendan Rodgers one. Yeah.
Oh,
Brendan Rodgers
yes.
would have won the league.
That was 13-14.
Yeah.
And then what, 16, 17,
this is the
17,
thing.
18?
Like, obviously you can strip the titles. I'd be very surprised if that even happens. But if they get point deductions, say like 15-point deduction every year, there's some years they still win the league.
Yeah. But
like they stomped a lot of those leagues.
some of them, but I mean, it's momentum,
Exactly,
Like
yeah.
Arsenal have been very lucky this year, having not played them at all in the first half season.
Yes, it changes everything.
So you start the season with like 15 points deduction. Like your mentality straight away is like, okay, there's already a mountain
Yeah.
to climb here. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if what happened in Italy with Juve, they got the titles taken off them. Did the other teams get medals?
I was actually looking at that today. So they awarded a title to Inter.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the Inter players at the time were like, no, that doesn't count, man.
Yeah.
Because like you don't get the trophy lift and all that. It's like what matters to the players is what was going on the pitch. They don't give a fuck about the books. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I think like technically Inter won the league, but Juve still claim it, and like the Inter players don't claim it and stuff like that. Like
It's like a null season. Null
yeah,
void.
exactly. This is null and void season. I
Yeah.
did see you were saying why now? Get your tinfoil hat on because
Okay.
I saw something. Do you see today the UK has actually stopped? They were going to bring in the financial regulator for football, the thing Gary Neville's always banging on about.
Yeah.
That was going to come into effect this week, like today, and it's after being pushed back a few weeks now. So people are saying that the Premier League is like, we don't need a regulator, we can handle ourselves. Look, we'll take it to City now.
Oh.
And so it's like a deal with the government, like, let us handle it, you don't get involved. We like all the money coming in.
So they're throwing City on the bus to cover their own arse.
Exactly, yeah. So apparently that's what's going on.
Good.
It's because this way it's just City, but we still have to keep Newcastle and whoever's coming to buy
Keep Saudi Arabia
United,
coming in
Liverpool,
and
yeah.
keep fucking. I'm sure every club has
Exactly.
its. I mean,
Everyone's sponsored by those like 88xbet, which does not exist.
No,
like there's loads of them.
you can't gamble with them. You go on their websites and it brings you like, oh, this is out your domain. It's like, what domain is this?
Yeah, why are you sponsoring an English team?
Yeah, what would be the benefit of you having your face or your name on a Premier League jersey and then no one in that
Yeah,
who can view that? I mean, I guess there's people abroad who
no,
view
but
it,
it makes
I mean,
no sense.
Still, there's a lot more people in England who watch Premier League than anywhere else. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I think that's the majority of the City stuff. It's like the fake sponsors and
yeah,
sponsors that were owned by companies which are owned by the owners of Man City.
Shell companies and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I'm going to sponsor their jersey for €10 billion this year.
It's worth it to me.
Yeah. I don't mind taking a loss.
Well, that's what they're trying to prove before with the Juve thing with the the value of Arthur Melo and Pancic. And in the end, it didn't stick because, like, well, it's subjective. Like, I mean, if it's what you're willing to pay for. It's hard to say that, financially or commercially, there is figures that you can throw around. I mean, I think they were trying to use Transfermarkt as a benchmark, but that's community driven, so it's not. There's nothing official about. Like, money, it is a concept.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of times, especially when you get the millions and billions. Like, it's not actually physically there.
No, yeah.
So you can put any number down on a piece of paper and say, that's what I want to pay for it.
Yeah, that's what art is worth to me.
Like, if a piece of art, it's like, well, I want to pay that much for it. It's like, there's no, like, well, how many hours do you spend on it? It's like, well, there's one of that. It's subjective.
We've looked at people's Patreons, being like, people are paying how much?
Yeah, there's a bit of that too. It's like it's up to how much it means to you, but
but this, I think a lot of the City stuff it's the sponsors, but it's a lot of not claiming what's supposed to. Like, you have to by law say where the money is coming from. They just kept putting it off. Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's 7 years later, and they've won 4 league titles and never said where that money came from.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'll just put my tinfoil hat back on again. It's
never off.
It's never really off, but it's like a little yarmulke kind of. You can't really see it at the back. That wasn't a Jew conspiracy thing. I didn't mean that. That's not what I meant. Anyway, is that like City obviously had a good run, and to be fair, cheating or not, like those leagues with Liverpool, some of the games they played, they were better than any Man United Arsenal games. Yeah, they were unbelievable. Like the quality, the speed of like Mane and like De Bruyne, like at their peak during those 17, 18, 19 years. Like, it was unbelievable.
And it's weird because it was like, obviously they spent insane money. Insane. And I'm sure there's a lot of hidden wages and stuff. Yeah. But like, they never really bought like superstars, like a team of superstars. They bought teams of unbelievable, really good players. Yeah. But like, it felt like anyone could have done it. If they were like, United could have bought those players, but they just bought much worse players for the same amount of money. Yeah. Like, it's not like United were like, oh, we can't compete. They spent just the same amount.
They did. But I suppose you had, well, Pep for one, in that time was like, listen, this is the best man in the world. There's a clear plan. Yeah, everything in their training ground was shiny and immaculate and all that kind of stuff. But like, the point being that like City had a good run. They really did enhance the kind of image of the Premier League. Like, this is a dominant kind of a league. Yeah, but they have Newcastle now.
Yes,
so they don't need City as much. Like, say if it was Newcastle hadn't been bought by Saudi Arabia, and then Abramovich had been sanctioned. Yeah, so now he's gone. And now, like, okay, we have to get rid of. That's why they get rid of City as well. It's okay. Well, where's the real money coming in? Because if we get rid of City, then it'll go back to Man United. And they'll be Bayern. Arsenal will be Dortmund. Yeah. Liverpool will be Schalke. And that'll be it. It'll be that. So we need some kind of like injection here. Now they have Newcastle. Now they can sacrifice City. Like,
they can lose one. They've gained another. Yeah. And even like Chelsea, money doesn't exist at the end. It seems like. Fucking hell. But again, they're going the United route of. It doesn't matter how much you cheat or spend. If you're doing it badly, who gives a shit?
No, you have to have some kind of plan.
Yeah. You can't just City hired all the best people behind the scenes. Yeah. Whereas United had terrible people behind the scenes. It was a disaster. And Chelsea seems to be going that way too.
Well, just with all that stuff tying in and City like just weirdly not being the same machine they were. And Pep got all these weird comments like, doesn't care about the league, doesn't care about this. Like, it sounds like
he knew.
You know when someone is suicidal, they say that they start giving stuff away.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't care anymore, man. I really don't. Here, just take this. It's like, well, don't you need it for college? Won't need it, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be away, pal.
Yeah, this Pep being like, don't care about the league. It's like, you're only 3 points behind. Yes. And it's Arsenal. Yeah. It's not Liverpool.
He was being extra sulky.
Being extra kind of like downtrodden about this whole thing.
Take Zinchenko.
Yeah.
He's only my favourite player.
The cup is gone, the league is gone, it's all gone. What means all gone? Nothing. Don't want to talk about
it. He actually had a quote like that yesterday, maybe the day before.
Yeah.
Well, he had his usual quote after losing to Spurs. He said, travelling to London is like travelling to Northern Europe. It takes 5 hours, blah, blah, blah.
It's really exhausting. Really exhausting.
But like, everyone in the league does it, pal.
And they've done it for how many other years?
Yeah, I'm sure your players are going on a nicer jet than the fucking Bournemouth players.
Yeah, they're hardly going by train, are they?
No. But another quote he said, "We were accused. I will never forget that there were 8 or 9 teams in the league that sent a letter wanting us to be banned out of the Premier League. That happened to us when we had the 5th best net spend. So imagine that on Friday. So someone was clearly on his mind, reminding him.
He said before the allegations came out.
But he said that on Friday. Because remember the Champions League stuff like 2 years ago?
Oh,
the one
yeah,
they got
yeah.
away with.
They just brought to the UEFA. They court arbitration sport. They couldn't
Gave him a
get
big bag of money, probably.
There was some technicality that they got off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a team of super lawyers, you know.
But apparently at the time, half the Premier League were like, kick them out. They're cheating.
Burn the witch.
Yeah. So, and then he also had another quote. This was last year.
Yeah.
When he was asked like why he defended the club during all that stuff. He said, "Why did I defend the club and the people? It's because I work with them. When they're accused of something, I ask them, tell me about that. They explain and I believe them. I said to them, if you lie to me, the day after, I'm not here. I will be out and I will not be your friend anymore." That's a real quote.
That sounds like it's taken from the Shakira song.
So he's got...
He knows everything, like.
He knows everything. He's probably getting paid insane money from XXXBet.
And it's funny because he's like Barcelona and Catalan and against the kind of establishment, but like in the end he is a football millionaire.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been a football millionaire since he was playing 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, and that's always the criticism against him, is everywhere he goes, he has a big bag of money to spend every year on every transfer, like, so
yeah,
it's not really his thing to be like an underdog.
No.
But it's interesting. I wonder will he stand by that? If they lied to me, I'm gonna be so mad.
Turns out they didn't lie to me. I knew the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't lie ever.
He's covered himself.
Yeah, clever.
He's covered himself perfectly, actually.
But like we said, him being extra sulky, seeing all this coming, I'm sure that's the first sign of him being like, all right, I'm not sticking with this once it goes down.
He's had a good run.
Yeah, an amazing run.
An amazing run. And like, look at Mourinho. Like, you can go back to a country been before. Like, everyone said, no, he burned all his bridges in Italy. Everyone hates him there, and I'm sure they did for a long time. You know, but like, he could go back to Spain. He could go back to Barcelona.
Yeah, Xavi's not going to be there forever.
I mean, that would be a really dick move to take Xavi's job off him.
Yeah,
but you know, he could go to Italy.
he got PSG.
He'd go PSG.
Like,
He could go lots of places. You know, this is not. We're saying this in the sense of like.
If it all really kicks
If
off.
it all, if it, like, what is the worst case scenario? There's relegation.
Relegation, I would say. Like, point deduction is a point deduction, but like the season after, what does that mean? You're back to being fucking the best team in the league. Like,
Yeah, although
a relegation, I think, is the only one, and like
yeah,
stripping the titles, I'm that's obviously bad as well. But
yeah,
it's like, what does that mean? They won them though. They had the parade. It's like they lifted it.
yeah. But I think when Juve get stripped their titles, there's all the other titles that they won.
Yeah.
And obviously it brings them into dispute. Like, well, which ones are they not?
Yeah.
But for City, like, that is their first few titles.
Yes.
So you stripped them that. It's like, well, now what's the last 10, 15 years been about? Like, we have nothing to show for us.
Yeah,
except
we were
that
cheating
everyone
the
thinks
whole
we're-
time.
Everyone hated us because we had all this money, but at least it was fair, or not fair, but at least legal above board. And I was like, we weren't even doing that. We have no respect ever, anyways.
Yeah.
Now we're cheats. We have no titles. Like, the whole project is brought into kind of real disrepute. It's like, well, what is it? It's like when Abramovich left. It's like, well, what was that about? Like,
Yeah. I read today that while he was at Chelsea, if you work out like the amount of money he spent in his whole stint there, the average money he spent every week was 1 million quid.
yeah.
So like, he really just threw money at it. And it's like, why did you do that, man?
Well, I heard one of the theories was that he needed to make a name for himself and become famous as this eccentric billionaire, so that he wouldn't get taken out by.
He'll get sanctioned.
No, so we get taken out by Putin.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
Putin like to kill like these anonymous billionaires because like some billionaire in Russia kills like Abramovich got killed.
Yeah,
And then there'd be an investigation. You have these hordes of Chelsea fans.
Yeah.
So he had to become famous and protect himself from the public.
That's
And that's
good.
why he was so happy to lose. This is, again, I should have said tinfoil hat warning. So this is why he's happy to lose $1 million a week, whatever he's doing,
Yeah.
because he's like, well, this is keeping me alive. I'd spend $1 million a week to keep me alive if I had it.
Yeah, that's true. And again, if money doesn't matter, who gives a shit what you're spending?
Yeah, again, it's literally life and death. So, I mean, what is money if I'm dead?
Yeah.
But look, back to City. It all kind of translated out on the pitch.
Yeah.
Now, they have a bad record against Tottenham.
Yes, it
As
was.
is Pep.
Yeah. I think every single time we've covered City versus Spurs, Spurs have won.
Spurs, you know, the opposite of Arsenal. I think Arsenal lost his last 16 meetings or something like that. Or like haven't won maybe in the last 16. I think they had a few heroic draws in there.
Yeah.
Tottenham always seem to get the better of them.
Yeah, Pep just has a weird mental block against them.
Last season, Harry Kane had the best performance I've ever seen him play in his life. And all things considered, like against that was like Stones and Diaz, they're unstoppable, and Kane absolutely destroyed them.
Yeah.
The two of them. Son was good as well, but it was all Kane. He was coming deep. He scored a goal. Like that was the Kane's utopia.
Yeah.
He got the winner in the end. It was ridiculous how well he played.
Yeah.
Performance of heart from Tottenham Hotspur. Romero, whose heart was broken. Doherty. Romero. Bentancur. In by Kulusevski. Kane! That is extraordinary! He has gone and stolen it back! Melodrama upon melodrama! City thought they had saved it. You are never saved! Face to face with Harry Kane, and Conte has found a way! Pep's pain. Kane's utopia.
And that was like, oh, he's playing for, whatever his transfer, and it didn't happen in the end. But like, he was okay in this game.
Yeah.
He got the goal that brought him over the record. Beat the great Jimmy Greaves.
Not Sir.
Not Sir Jimmy Greaves. Yes, that was a great day for Kane, great day for Tottenham. It was that they scored in the 15th minute, right? Which, I mean, was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? Tottenham went 2-0 up.
Yes.
And then they lost 4-2.
Yes.
But I guess this was in Tottenham Stadium.
Yeah, but
Tottenham's
again,
ground.
it's weird because it doesn't seem like that matters most of the time unless you're playing City, and then it's like everyone's up for it. It's like,
Yeah.
you can do this all season long, lads.
You felt that they're going to reel them in. Like, surely now they've scored too soon here.
Yeah.
City are a better team. And all the highlights, if you look at the highlights, it's City
hitting the post.
hitting the post a few times, hitting the crossbar a few times, but then in the extended highlights, you'll see Haaland making runs that no one passed the ball to.
Yeah, I think it was his first game without a shot on target.
He didn't touch the ball in the opposition's box.
I'd like to know how many touches he got.
Not many, I wouldn't say.
Less than 7?
Well, this is what we're saying about that time Lukaku had the 7-touch setup.
Yeah.
Is that, they weren't playing to cut it back to Lukaku. They're all like trying to take their own shots. They weren't passing to Lukaku.
Yeah.
Lukaku's like,
what's he supposed to do?
my thing is that I'm very strong, very fast, and I can finish.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Hey, not a lot of people have that. I don't want to disparage you as being really strong, fast,
yeah,
fit,
it'd be
and
really
score.
nice. I wish I had that.
But but you do need someone to give you service.
Yeah.
He's not going to come deep and play 1-2s and run like the pitch.
Like Kane can do.
Like Kane can't do or something like that. He's not someone like in basketball would say he can't create his own shot.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's an elite shooter, elite scorer.
Yeah.
But they weren't playing for him.
Yeah.
Like same with Haaland. Like, yeah, you got on the ball. Like he would dominate in the championship.
Oh,
he would, he would like some of that was like literally just get the striker the ball and they'll score.
Lump it up to him.
Like all those strikers who scored 35 goals in championship, and then in the Premier League they doesn't translate
score
because
6
because they can't get the ball to him.
Yeah.
If they get the ball to him,
Yeah.
but they would, but they just weren't playing that way. I was thinking actually, Will, do you remember? I think it was the Champions League this year. Well, obviously it was. Well, last in 2022, we'll say, but in the first half of the season, do you remember that ball from the outside, Cancelo outside the booth,
Yes,
into Haaland flying to the air?
Yeah, it's sailing through the air and hit with his heel.
And he just like when
Casemiro did it.
Casemiro that now he's gone.
Yeah,
but like that's what you need to do. You need to get the ball to him, and they just weren't doing it against Tottenham.
Yeah,
and you might say it's like, oh, they just don't know how to. But like, I think they know how to.
Yeah.
It was just all.
Mahrez definitely knows how.
They know how to kick the ball to somebody.
Yeah, De Bruyne knows how.
They're just intentionally being told that's not how we do it here.
Yeah, pass it around them.
De Bruyne, you're on the bench today for some reason. You're chasing the league against a team who we historically do really bad against. De Bruyne, I think you're the problem. We're going to play 4-4-2, a classic Pep lineup.
I looked at the lineup. I saw 4-4-2. I said, that has to be wrong. He's never played that in his life, I'd say.
I thought it was like, oh, maybe it's a 4-2-3-1. I was like, no, it was a 4-4-2.
4-4-2. Back to basics.
I was like, let's see what Grealish can do.
Yeah.
There was actually a very funny moment where, Romero.
Yeah.
A real shithouser.
Yes.
You saw him in that clip of him in the World Cup where he was cheering him in Mbappe's face.
Yeah.
Maybe before or after he scored 2 goals, I don't know. But there was one thing where Grealish went down, like he dived, whatever, but didn't get the free. Then Romero went to cheer like that, but knowing that he was going to turn into Grealish. Went, yeah, cheer out his face. And Grealish was laughing. Looked back at him like, what the fuck? That was
You're a weird guy.
He's a weird guy. The next play, then Grealish comes into the middle of the pitch, runs right at Romero, and then dives over his leg and gets him sent off. I was like, you brought that upon yourself, my friend.
Yeah.
But the wider point being that Grealish was just doing whatever he wanted. He was doing Aston Villa Grealish.
Yeah. Which is like, Pep would never allow that.
De Bruyne on the bench, Grealish is coming in from the wing, do what he wants.
That is a man who doesn't care anymore.
No Diaz on the bench. I think we're going to try Ake and Akanji. Yeah, I think that's what's going to be today against Harry Kane. What?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Rico Lewis, you're back to left back. I know you're playing midfield, but I've sold Casemiro.
Yeah, and I forgot that I sold Zinchenko. So
Yeah.
it feels very kind of like he doesn't care anymore at all.
Yes. And before the stuff came out today, it was like, that's weird. But now it's like, oh, I see.
Yeah. And more importantly, I guess than all that, the context of the game. Like, these are like multiple time champions, like killers, you know.
Yeah.
They don't fucking let up. Arsenal lost before that.
Yeah.
Huge
This is where you
chance.
go. This is the one.
This is where you really stick to Arsenal. This is what we're saying before. Like, this will happen. They'll lose. City will win.
Then it's only
Now
2
we'll
points.
see what you're made of.
It's a 2-point swing, and then they play each other twice. But see, you're just like,
Diaz, you're on the bench.
Yeah, De Bruyne. Like, any other team is playing De Bruyne if he's on one fucking leg.
Yeah, you're
It
playing your
doesn't
best
matter.
team. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it just seems strange. And then right after that, all this stuff came out. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
my tinfoil hat now is really on.
Yeah, I put on my tinfoil top hat.
My tinfoil cloak to protect my outers from the rays. No, it all seems very strange, and it's you know, Liverpool's one has an asterisk beside it because it happened in COVID.
Oh, no one was there.
I hope no one remembers all these details if Arsenal win. Because like, didn't City give you 2 players, and then didn't Chelsea give you a player, and then didn't City get kicked out of the league that year as well?
Yeah.
No, that was a different year. That was Liverpool, I think.
I was thinking if City get a point deduction,
Yeah,
it's Arsenal's are definitely have to be favourites. But I could see Arsenal slipping up more after a point deduction because then it's like, phew, we can relax. But then it changes so quickly, and the other teams can quickly gain on you.
I could see that if Arsenal win the Champions League,
Yeah.
but they're not, and they do not care about the Europa League.
No, you can't. But sure, you win the Europa League to get top 4.
That's
It's top
all it
4
is now.
trophy.
Yeah, because the money isn't it pales in comparison
Yeah.
to like Champions League money or anything else. So,
And like, it's always feels important when there's nothing else going on in your season. We're like,
Yeah.
we have to win this. That really gives us momentum. But when there's anything else on, I've seen a lot of United fans being like, fuck Barca, let them win. Who cares?
Yeah.
We're battling for fourth.
Well, that's it. United are obviously on a huge run as well. Newcastle drew there at the weekend. Almiron has really dried up. Maybe they figured out Almiron's game. I don't know what it is.
I'll tell you what it is. I got him in fantasy.
Oh.
Ever since, he's done nothing, and I'm too afraid to change.
That's they're the closest ones, Newcastle and United. So, well, we're saying this now
Yes,
in the reality that City gets say 15 points deduction. They're behind fucking
Well, I suppose
Brighton.
even without a point deduction, like they're slipping more regularly than they would.
Yeah,
I mean, like dropping points in that. I know it's Spurs who are good, but
yeah,
in a must-win game, they usually tended to win those before.
yeah.
So, like, I could see them slipping down the table a bit anyway.
Well, this stuff now. Imagine you're playing for City. Like, imagine coming into your work
Yeah.
and seeing that like your company might be like disbarred or whatever the fuck.
Your company might get moved to a much worse place.
Yeah, like it would definitely throw people's minds off. You know,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
you're going to be thinking for the summer. Oh, fuck, are they going to be able to afford my wages if those fake sponsors are gone?
it's like when Chelsea got sanctioned and all the players walked out on free. It's like, well, why am I sticking around here? This will be a mess.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, yeah, it's looking good for Arsenal. I mean, the other teams aren't that far behind the Newcastle and United. And we're just over halfway done. So I mean, there's a lot
I
of
think we're
football
like 20
played.
games, 21 games.
Um,
And I mean, again, I wouldn't fear playing City twice anymore.
no,
Especially now when Pep's like, ugh, whatever.
yeah, being really weird,
Yeah.
weird behavior.
You could win this league, man. If you
in
really
it.
wanted it. It also makes sense why City didn't buy anyone in January.
Yes.
And like why. And
Everyone else broke the record, and they went, "Nah, not for us."
Yeah, that's not something we do.
Yeah, they stole a lot of players this year.
And like the Casemiro one, I could see that happening because Pep, obviously they had a falling out, and Pep was like, "You have to sell him. Like he has to go. It's too far now." And I could see them being like, "Oh fuck. Oh well, okay, we'll sell him, but this is going to be trouble."
Yeah, I'd say Pep's in the loop. You know, I'd say he is. I don't know. I think another sabbatical for Pep might be coming up soon. But yeah, I mean the team we mentioned there, Arsenal, lost to Everton. Sean Dyche.
We should have seen it coming.
Unbelievable.
It had the two things we've been a lot of foreshadowing in the last like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Of Dyche coming in, us talking about he's pretty good actually. He might surprise people, and this is his big job. And Everton aren't that bad. And then also things change very quickly in football. We should have known this was going to happen.
I must apologize to any Everton fans. Listen, I said I don't know if they are good enough to stay up.
Oh, there are.
I mean, look, Frank Lampard,
blinded by Frank. Oh my God,
his stock is on the floor. Like, I mean, sell Frank Lampard stock if you have it.
Yeah, every team he leaves immediately does very well. And don't forget, Chelsea won the Champions League right after he left.
Yeah, and there's a clip going around at the moment because Sean Dyche did some kind of masterclass thing, just the basics of football.
Yeah, here's exactly what you need to do to not lose a game.
And against top league leaders, you know,
the very basic thing that he described, and they won the game.
They just were not doing the basics.
Yeah,
like Everton were literally just not doing the basics.
Protect the ball, I said.
There's a V coming from the goal. Protect the V, and that's all it was. I mean, like Arsenal struggled to break them down. I mean, the Burnley duo. We literally said this as well. Tarkowski and McNeil would be delighted to see the old boss coming in.
Yeah, they were.
Cross, header, bang, goal. Yeah. Shut it down. 1-0. Job done. Get out of there.
And I mean, like, winning a game like that against Arsenal.
Yeah.
If you're winning that game, you're not getting relegated, mate. Because
No.
I'm telling you, fucking Southampton are not winning that game, or fucking Bournemouth aren't winning that game. Like,
yeah. Well, it put the fear of God into Leeds.
Yeah.
It
really did, yeah.
Because they're slipping as well.
Yes.
They lost to Brentford. Or they drew at Brentford maybe, or they lost.
Not sure. Yeah.
One of the two. I know they lost to Brentford. 1-0 to Brentford. They sacked Marsh. I'd say they're raging they didn't do it now.
They could have got, like, why do the whole winter window? Sign players that Marsh wanted. They signed Weston McKennie.
I know they signed a lot of Yanks.
Yeah, and so obviously you've shown to your team and the world that you never had a plan in the first place. You're just panicking. So, and also sacking the manager right before he has to play Man United twice in 1 week. Give those games Marsh, surely.
Yeah, I mean,
like, that's such a tough fucking ask.
Well, it's also like no one's going to blame the person coming in.
That's true. I did see now United are going to have to deal with interim manager bounce on Wednesday and a new manager bounce on Saturday. Tough week.
Two completely new set of tactics for the two managers, I'd say.
Yeah.
No, Leeds, the first year was great for Leeds coming up. Unbelievable season.
Ridiculous, yeah.
And then the second season was last season, they barely survived.
They got figured out.
And then this season as well, it's like, and by that first season, they had no fans.
Yes.
So none of the fans got to see the one good season that Leeds had in it so far. But yeah, they're struggling. Burnley are not Burnley. Sorry. Everton.
Yeah. The new Burnley.
The new Burnley. With Will Keane also. I forgot about him. He used to be years ago, he was at Burnley.
Yeah.
I think he's still there.
Yeah, he is, yeah. Michael Keane.
Michael Keane, not Will Keane. Sorry, Michael Keane. Michael Caine.
good bit.
No, they're. Imagine how they'll go from strength to strength. I think, like I say, bad for Frank Lampard's stock.
Yes,
but Sean Dyche's stock now.
Oh, this is the biggest job he's ever had. All he has to do is not get relegated.
But look, I think phase 1 is well underway.
Yeah,
organize the fucking team, do the basics of football. You'd expect that from any manager worth his salt.
He's made a lot of like popular moves as well. Did you see that thing about him banning snoods in training?
Oh yeah,
because he was like, you have to train the way you're gonna play, cold or whatever.
the first thing he did when he came was do murder runs.
Yeah,
he always listens to the pod.
Yeah.
No,
but like all doing all those little things that people are gonna be like, he's a genius.
Well, you got fans chasing people out of the.
They're gonna love that shit
because they're not giving enough. They're not don't care as much as I do. Definitely they don't. So you come in and you go, I'm going to make them run hard. They're going to be cold. Yeah. They're going to have to work for this. Like, that's exactly what the fans want. Yeah, and then you add up to the win against the league leaders. Great bit of momentum. And when you're at the bottom of that, a few wins really does catapult you up.
Oh, yeah.
But that's why it's so hard to get wins. Because
I think there's only like 7 points or 6 points between 17th and 13th or something like that. Like, it's so close. And like, still, really, anyone could go down.
Yeah, they get 5 or 6 more wins, and
they're sorted.
I think they'll be grand. And then for Dyche, it's about can you push on and show tactically that you can create attack as well as defense.
Yeah,
but I think it's a good chance. It's a good chance for Everton to do that. It is a decent team. If he can make, like, Conor Cody was a decent defender, decent enough to get picked for England. And there wasn't amazing defenders, but they have good players there. And then it's just you look back at all the transfers that Everton made, like, squandered a lot of money. Like we just said, no point have a lot of money if you just spend on the wrong players. So, I mean, maybe, he'll come in and say, this is what I want, and he can build a team with, more millions he's ever had. But look, fair play to Everton, great win. And look, all is well that ends well. Arsenal lost, but so is City.
Yeah, who cares?
What else do we have then? We had Man United as well.
Yes.
Hot on the heels.
That was a mad game.
Yeah.
Because they were unbelievable in the first half, United. I would say it's one of the best halves I've seen them play. But anytime I see United have a half like that, I always think they're going to lose this game. It's just always the way.
Yeah.
They always take the foot off the neck.
Mm.
Especially against Palace. It happened a few weeks ago where they drew that game 1-1. But it all kicked off when Antony, a man we've talked about a lot, just made one of the dumbest decisions I've ever seen.
He got tackled by...
He got shouldered by Schlupp.
Schlupp, was it?
I think it was Schlupp. But he got shouldered down. You know, Old Trafford has the pit.
Ledge.
The pit to slow down counterattacks.
It looked like Schlupp kind of went over and said,
he said something.
Get up over that.
He sent him flying into the fucking... down the hill. And then he was stood over saying something to him. But I think most players would be like, all right, you got me there. I'll just get him back in a minute.
Yeah, it's funny because Andrew's obviously he did the right thing first. He goes down, it's oh, I'm hurt, you know, and they went, you're a little bitch.
Yeah.
What the fuck you
said? What did you say? I'm not hurt anymore. And it's well, you've ruined it.
He pops up and then it all kicks off.
Runs into him, shoulders him. There's a scuffle. And as soon as there's a scuffle, you know there's going to be cards because there's hands flying everywhere. And if a hand touches someone's face, someone's going to go down.
There's some real, I know it was pushing and shove, but there was some real pushing with intent there. You know, people pushing all around.
It was one of the more intense football brawls I've seen in a long time. Yeah. Nothing compared to an NBA brawl still. No malice at the palace or anything.
What's funny though, someone like Antony, right? It's you know, he has the face tattoos and all that, and he grew up in the favelas and that, and he talks about I grew up in the favelas. And I avoided all the drugs and the violence to play football. It's right, so you wouldn't actually do anything then. You don't know how to fight. You don't know how to throw a punch. You will actually do fucking nothing because you avoided that entire life. That's your whole life story. So acting tough like that, it's no one who makes the Premier League is actually tough.
Yeah.
If they'd spent their time fighting people and doing that, they wouldn't have made it to the top.
That guy's trouble. I don't want him in my team.
Yeah, so you grew up around violence. I've watched a lot of fucking violent movies. Doesn't mean I know anything about fighting. You know what I mean? It's so, and again, the money at stake.
Yeah.
You fucking, actually throw a punch and injure somebody in a brawl. You're fucked.
Yeah.
Your contract's cancelled. You're not going to get another top league. Your entire career you're not going to put in line because someone says, get up out of that.
We're never going to see Eric Cantona kicking a fan in the head again. Never.
If that happened today, he's never coming back.
No, good, definitely not. And as well, if that happened today, I think even the United fans would be he's a disgrace. Whereas back then they're go on, Cantona, give it to him. There's
a lot more kind of street justice back then.
Yeah.
Or people if he says it, if he talks too much, he deserves a slap.
Yeah.
Whereas now people go, well, you could really injure him.
Yeah.
So that would be a bad thing to do,
One punch and you can kill a man. So
yeah, there's been so much of that kind of stuff with the one punch campaign, people are so much more aware of the dangers of actually
violence.
Hitting somebody. I've watched so many fucking MMA fighters and Navy SEALs and stuff. They come up on your reels and stuff. Yeah. And first thing to do in a fight, if you can, walk away, get out of there. That's the smartest thing to do. You're not you get in a fight, there could be a guy with a knife, then you die.
Yeah,
these trained professionals,
guys who fight for a living.
Whereas that just wouldn't have flown in the 70s and 80s. Hit him back. It's you
know what's a good example of that? We're getting a bit off topic, but that slap fighting thing that started.
Fucking hell, yeah.
But everyone hates that because this is disgusting. If that came out in the 2000s, that would be the biggest show in the world.
Yeah.
People this is amazing. The Jackass boys would host it. But now people are this is disgraceful.
Well, it's just do you know what damage you're doing to your brain?
I know what a concussion is now.
Yeah. I think it's just the general knowledge of injuries and safety and health. People go, health and safety go bad or whatever. But it's it is a thing that people are more aware of.
Your brain is so soft.
Yeah.
One knock and it's done.
It's any of those old movies, when someone gets they punch them to knock them out. It's that means his brain is rattled around and the whole system is shut down. Yeah. And by the way, he doesn't wake up again. He stopped breathing.
He's dead.
He doesn't wake up again. If you get knocked out and someone doesn't bring you back, you will die.
Yeah.
Whereas the movies just go, oh, my head.
Whoa,
where was I? It's when they used to wash up on shores in movies as well. It's no, if you would drown. You don't float and then wash up face first to sand. Ugh.
Oh, I swallowed some water.
Just something they could just put in TV shows and no one knew any better. And I guess that's how it works. Yeah. But the information now is just it's there. So look, Anthony's never going to do anything because it's so like looked at as like that's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's so stupid and like it's childish, it's pathetic. You shouldn't be in the game. That's not what we want to see.
And like he came up, so I get like standing up, like I don't know what he said to him, but I'm sure it wasn't fucking anything too mad. I'm sure he said,
it was like I didn't touch your mate, or whatever. He
get
said,
up, pussy, or something like that. And he didn't like it. But the scuffle broke, and there was hands on necks everywhere. But the VAR ref chose one in particular.
Yeah,
I will say one of the most damning angles and most damning slow motion replays I've ever seen in my life.
but in real time it was like
real time was great. He grabbed him by the collar and moved him.
And his hands on his neck. Like the freeze frame looks like he's choking a man out.
It was weird. I'd never seen a VAR replay of violent conduct like that.
Yeah.
Whereas like slow motion, really like 2-frame replays of his 2 hands going across his neck. It's like, well, that does look bad. He looks like he's throttling him like Homer Simpson. But he wasn't. It was just a bad angle. But it was like, all right, fair enough.
I mean, look, he did have his hands on his neck.
He did, yeah, you can't do that again.
But it wasn't that he was choking to the point where like
it wasn't
Palace
violent
players
conduct.
had to like drag him off. Stop it, Casemiro, you're going to kill him.
Yeah.
It was like
he hugged him and Hughes hugged after. We're laughing about it. Like immediately after, because like, we got a bit heated. Oh, well, nothing will come of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw in the background of the same shot, obviously they were focused on Casemiro. IU is doing the exact same thing to Fred.
Yeah.
But they're just like, obviously they're focused on the one and more. And I'm sure there was more going on. I'm sure there was more violent conduct than the one.
Yeah.
I was watching it on Premier Sport and Kenny Cunningham had some mad quotes about it.
Mad takes, like.
Yeah, him and Damon Delaney were talking about it, and Damon Delaney's like, you can't be throttling a player with 2 hands. Kenny.
He hates United.
And Kenny was like, I wouldn't call that
throttling.
I wouldn't call that throttling. I wouldn't call that, violent conduct.
Yeah.
And Owen McDavid said, he like read out the rules. He said, well, no, it's, anything with the intent to hurt or brutality. And Kenny Cunningham said, you're calling that brutality. So it was pretty entertaining. But it was a mad red card. But it has to be done.
It has to be done. Another amazing contribution from Antony. I mean, he has to be nailed on now, goal Lukaku.
He's up there.
Just the most famous one.
It was the first game where I could feel Old Trafford. He lost the ball at one stage, or it was a counter attack, and he was sprinting forward, but then he can't cross it with his right, so he had to stop dead and pass it back. It's like, just try it, man.
Just try it, Anthony. Just try it out.
Professional footballer, you're probably good with the other foot as well. Oh. But when he stopped the counter dead and passed it back, you could feel the stadium being like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Turning,
yeah,
they're turning on him.
And then the scuffle leads to the red card, and leads to the red card for someone else for standing up to you. It's like, mate. Casemiro as well.
The most important player.
Yeah.
The sign of the season, some would say.
I swear, there was I was getting annoyed at how much the commentators were talking about Casemiro during the game. Like for an hour up to it, they're like, he's amazing, he's an incredible sign, most important player, blah, blah, blah. And then the red card happened, and I was like, they did this.
Yeah, no, people are really kind of sucking him off these days. But I mean,
he's amazing. But
he is very good. But if they're top league, I'd say fair enough. But it's just like, But like, this is the thing. They nearly beat Arsenal without him. Like, it was a last minute goal. Now, they were all over the place in that game, but like, they scored 2 and they were grand. Yeah. No, I mean, what's he on 3 games? Has that been appealed or anything? No.
So he's banned for 3 games, which will be Leeds again, and Leicester. Should be grand. And if they appeal it, you see, this is the thing. If they appeal it and the appeal gets rejected, then it's an extra ban, and that will be the Carabao Cup final. So I'd say United are just going to be like, we'll just take the 3.
I think we'll beat Leeds twice.
We should be beating Leeds twice. Dave Marsh's manager, they were saying.
Yeah.
But like, if you can't beat Leeds without Casemiro, then you have bigger problems than Casemiro got banned.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a paper tiger then, isn't
Yeah.
it? If one player comes like, oh, actually the rest of them are terrible.
Yeah, like that's not how it works. So
Chelsea been spending big in the transfer window.
yeah, huge.
Broken all the records. I mean,
I think they spent £500 million since Todd Bowley's come in.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's really, when you see all those like net spend over the last 5 years,
Yeah.
and like United are like $1 billion, City are $1 billion, Liverpool are like 700 million or whatever.
Mm.
Chelsea have done 500 million in one fucking season.
And what's funny is we said, well, Abramovich is gone. There goes the gravy train. No more crazy spending.
And man, I can't believe the Chelsea fans look. I'm just like, and now obviously this isn't working out as well.
This is going to end in disaster, Will. This
Yeah.
is not, look, this is awful.
But it's just the thrill of signing players. It doesn't get better than this.
Yeah, well, they've amassed a lot of talent.
But it's weird because it's like they've amassed a lot of talent in the one area of the pitch.
Yeah.
Like a lot of forwards and wingers and cool midfielders.
Yeah. Enzo Hernandez, just a kind of a really good midfielder, I guess. Is he worth 120 million for
130?
130?
Do you think if Argentina didn't win the World Cup final, they would have bought him, or they would have bought a French player for 130 million?
Maybe, maybe they would have bought someone else.
Verratti.
Someone.
Rabiot.
But look, he's the young player of the tournament, Will.
Yeah.
That has to mean something, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
I don't know what anything means anymore when it comes to money.
Yeah, I mean, they have him, and then they have, Mudryk they brought in for like 40 million.
Something mad again.
Benoit Badiashile to replace the centre-back they bought in the summer.
Yeah. Koulibaly, yes.
Who I guess is on the way out after half a season of being, below average.
Get him out.
Well, don't worry, he's already replaced.
Yeah.
And also they brought in...
When's João Felix back?
He's banned for 3 games in that Fulham game.
That's surely nearly... He's back soon.
Must have been 3 game weeks since then, yeah.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, well, that's it. They do have a lot of good players there at the moment.
They just have to work out who plays where. Where do you think Graham Potter? There must be a player there.
Who?
Yeah,
he just works there. He's like a kind of administrator. I think he's not actually in charge of any of this stuff.
Do you think though there's been a day in training where he saw a player who's gone, I haven't a clue who that is?
Oh, you mean Malo Gusto?
Yeah, you think he saw Malo Gusto and thought, I don't even know how he plays.
I'd say he like before the trains. Okay, right. Strikers over there, defenders over there, and then midfielders. You just stay there beside Mason Mount there.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, like this is not like Graham Potter's project at all.
No,
none of these signings.
And if it is, he's insane.
Well, look, the Graham Potter signing might say that he would have bought Cucurella, and he didn't buy him, obviously. Yeah. But I mean, like maybe they said, look, he bought in Cucurella. Like, no, he didn't. It didn't work out, Todd. He didn't actually buy him in. Like he hasn't been given a chance at all.
No, he'll be gone before he gets the chance, I think.
No, he's not going to last, I wouldn't say.
No. Because again, in a few weeks' time, they're going to go, we spent how much and we're in 10th? You're out of here.
You got to win.
Yeah.
You spend that money, you got to win. And they're in 10th. Like, they're not going to make Champions League.
No, they're miles off.
So what's the...
Yeah. Why would you not save the money and do it in the summer?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, the plan is insane. Now, I think we talked about it before where, remember there was that guarantee when they bought Chelsea that they had to spend a certain amount of money on investment. So I could see Todd Boyes be like, spend it on anything. Who cares? I want to stop spending money on this. So let's get this done quick.
Oh, so he's spending all the money now.
Like, get him in.
Yeah.
I'll give you 140 million. Who cares?
I mean, so, like I said, the team is good if the balance is off, right?
Yeah.
The mad thing is, of all these players in, and it's like, oh, what about Ziyech, who was like at PSG, and then they
faxed them the wrong thing.
They kept sending the wrong things as like a fuck you to Ziyech, or are they just like that bad at like sending documents? It's really not that hard. I mean, anybody can do it, surely, unless Todd has run the whole thing, and he's like,
and like I get it when you're doing it to hang on to a player, like the De Gea one's famous. Oh, we sent the wrong thing. Oh, yes, you have to stay. But they want to get rid of Ziyech.
He was in Paris, and then he had to come home. He's like, sorry,
we sent the wrong PDF.
It hasn't come through, so we can't do it. It's like, but what do you mean? Well,
take it up with Todd, man.
They just didn't send the right stuff on the fax, so
they were still using fax.
It wasn't signed, so you got to go home. Like, I mean, a crazy situation, right? But all this could be solved if they had Reece James and Ben Chilwell back. Yeah, all the rest, everything went to shit when they got injured.
Yeah,
even Ben Chilwell was, he's very, very good. But when Reece James went, the whole thing fell apart.
You'd forget how good he was.
Two of them, those wing backs, they were unbelievable defenders and attackers.
Everything went through them.
And then the rest players had way more space, way more time to, like, Sterling would have been doing unbelievable if they had those two players there. But yeah, they have Mudryk in, they have João Felix up front, you have Sterling, you got Enzo Fernandez.
That's a weird team.
It's like if you had them all in the right positions,
it
wouldn't be that bad. But I think you got Mason Mount there as well. I mean, the defense maybe a bit better now with the Badiashile coming in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you had those two wing backs,
everything changes.
They'd climb right back up the Europa League, honestly.
I could easily see Potter going, those two players come back. Oh, this new manager's amazing. We're winning again.
Or I'd say Potter gets sacked, and yeah. No, I don't know where it's going to end up. Them and Liverpool are languishing. Liverpool seem absolutely fucked as well. I mean,
They do seem like, even Chelsea, it doesn't get like the feeling of, oh, they're finished. Like, it's like, there's a lot of new players. Like, they'll come good eventually. Even if they keep Potter, I think it'll work out eventually. Whereas Liverpool, it seems like every week is worse.
they're going to buy themselves back in, Chelsea, whereas Liverpool look like they're cashing out.
Finished. I think they're done with Klopp, it seems like.
The Klopp thing is done. Like, who do they buy? They bought Gakpo, who's been
007. It's happened.
It's happened already, or is it one more game?
Yeah.
Oh.
0 goals, 0 assists, 7 games.
Yeah. I mean, he's very similar to Darren Núñez.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of position and what he brings. So
They needed a midfielder.
why did they bring him in?
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know who's, like, was it Klopp in charge of transfers to Liverpool? Or, like, I don't know how it works there now.
It seems like
a lot of people left Liverpool, like a lot of backroom staff left Liverpool this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it was Klopp, and he was like, "Oh, I'll get Gakpo, and then I'll get a midfielder, and I'll get." He probably got Gakpo, and then they said, "That's it." And he went, "Oh, I didn't know that."
I didn't know I had to pick.
Yeah, I didn't know it was like first in. I thought it would be kind of like.
I put them in alphabetical order, not in order of what I want them to be.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it's awkward for them. They've lost again to Wolves, who weren't
3-0.
even going that well. Like, I mean, the first goal was an own goal by Matip. It was who's their top scorers?
Their top scorer since the World Cup is that player for Leicester who scored 2 own goals in the game against them.
You know, like there's been. I mean, I think Man United had it for a while. Aston Villa had it for a while. There was like the goal of the season is own goals. Like,
it's never good.
It's not a sign that things are going well. Any month it happens. So I mean, it's
and like the World Cup is a while ago now.
Yeah. No, the injuries in Liverpool plus this club being sold and Klopp looking like he's not getting backed from people, and it's
Salah's stopped since he signed that contract.
Yeah, it's all kind of falling apart for Liverpool, just like a certain podcaster said it might.
Yeah.
Not that we're happy with this, but like I felt that like this is not.
What's the plan? Yeah, what's the future?
How can they maintain this?
Yeah.
You're not paying the same money as other teams.
The players are getting older.
You're not replacing them. I mean, look, again, it would be solved if Curtis Jones and Harry Elvis had been the next coming of Fabinho and Jordan Henderson, but they just weren't. It hasn't worked out that way.
We still have Fabinho and Jordan Henderson.
Which, again, another club say, okay, right, well, let's buy some replacements there. But FSG were like, okay, well, maybe we'll give another couple of years and see.
We got very far without buying players.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know that's going to end.
It'd be mad to see Klopp gone.
Yeah.
It'd be so strange. But they do feel like a team and now they are riddled with injuries.
Yeah.
Which is never easy. It's happened to them 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
But even then, like, when they had like Nat Phillips and Fabinho at the
They
back.
couldn't play football back then.
No. Like,
they were not able to kick a ball,
Yeah.
and they somehow managed to get 4.
Yeah, they had heart.
the Klopp.
Yeah.
Klopp was still, giving, impassioned speeches after games like, no, like this is just a bad one. Look, we are a good team.
This will never happen again.
And they showed they could. They got forward. This year, there's none of that. It's like
there's no way Alisson is going up to score a last minute header this season.
Yeah, that
he
was
wouldn't be
last
arsed. He'd be like, fuck this.
Yeah. Hey, maybe the city being banned might give them. Hey, maybe it's all bad.
Yeah.
Hold the cell. We're back in actually.
Oh, actually, maybe we do have money.
Yeah.
It is mad to think that it could potentially, in the course of a season, Liverpool and City just done. That whole era finished.
I know. Yeah. I didn't think about that.
I didn't think that was ever going to end.
Just like when Keane and Vieira left United and Arsenal, that was it then.
Yeah, they were never as good again.
It was Chelsea, and then United came back a bit, but it wasn't the same team. And Arsenal, nowhere near the same team. Just that whole era just ends like in a season.
It's insane, and that is looking like the most likely thing to happen.
Yeah,
like Pep and Klopp could both easily be gone this season.
Mad. You really got some odds on that.
Yeah.
Start of season, fucking hell. Another mad thing, Will, that you wouldn't say at the start of the season. Jed Spence.
Yeah,
the 6th Spence, you might remember.
The blockbuster signing.
6 different Instagram posts about the 6th Spence. Never played a fucking game, did he?
Never played a second. No, I don't think Conte liked him.
I think Conte maybe tried to sell him to Rennes, and they went, no, we'll take one loan. All right, well, sell Doherty then.
Yeah, he has to go.
Yeah, Jed Spence. Is that where all the Barclays stuff are in Rennes? Is that where all the boys are? Or one of the French teams, anyways. Jed Spence. We may never see the majesty of Jed Spence playing for Spurs.
The 6th Spence.
the 6th Spence.
Apparently, he was really good in his debut game as well, and a lot of the Spurs fans were like, "What the fuck is going on? Why weren't we playing him?"
Yeah, where does he play? Left back?
Right back.
Right back. Emerson Royale. You know what they call a right back in Brazil? An Emerson Royale.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been down that road before. They're imposters.
The always a master.
So I think to ask me, for my opinion, a little bit unfair.
But in between that, there was drinks.
Why are you talking rubbish?